Good afternoon, Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan. Welcome to the latest edition of our sports show, where we look at upcoming current global sporting events taking place all over the world. And we've many times we've covered the issue of sports entertainment, wrestling, and we're delighted to promote this week NWA 74 taking place on August the 27th on FITE TV network, which can be streamed here all across Ireland. And our guest this evening, a well-renowned household name in the wrestling entertainment industry. He has been with Impact Wrestling, he's been at WWE, he's been at the Ring of Honor, and now he's making his debut for NWA on NWA 74 on August 27th, the one and only EC3. And EC3, for you, how delighted are you to be taking part in a nostalgic company such as NWA, making your debut, a company which has so much history and tradition within the wrestling entertainment industry?
Nostalgia is a reminder of the painful present. Nostalgia is a crutch. Nostalgia we fall back on time after time again to recreate a feeling that we will never have. Am I excited to be a part of NWA? Absolutely. You forgot to mention I'm also creating an idea and a movement in my own company in its own right, CYN, Control Your Narrative. These two brands interceding, that excites me. It excites me for what the future could hold. But nostalgia is dead.
Okay. And EC3, you mentioned that in terms of your own company and crossover and the similarities. Your opponent is going to be Mims, and what does he sort of reflect you? Is he like the Big E type wrestler? Is he like the Moose type of a character? What sort of what are your expectations for Mims in terms of what he's going to bring offer?
You know, look, men like Big E, men like Moose, I've been in the ring with, and both are unique animals in their own right. Both are definitely excellent performers, athletes, all that. Yeah, put them over, bop, bop, bop. But I mean, I don't know much about Mims. I've studied him, I've watched him, I've seen some growth. But if he's the kind of guy that compares himself to somebody else as opposed to wants to become his own man, then the match is already won. I've already defeated him, because that limited mindset can only take you so far. And when you challenge somebody with prestige, honor, intelligence, dexterity, physicality, mentality, psychology of an EC3, if you're thinking you're somebody else, it's over already.
Yeah, and EC3, you mentioned since your time at WWE and Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling, you've gone out around on the independent circuit and you've formed your own company. Do you like that sort of sense of where EC3 is at the moment in terms of his life, in terms of being able to sort of be in control of your own sort of destiny, not being really tied to a company as such?
Dare I say, control your own narrative? Tell your own story. What I'm doing is unprecedented in this industry. What I'm doing is something very few would have the courage to even try, be bold enough and brave enough to risk it on an idea they believe in so much that they'll put everything on the line, body, soul, mind, you know? Am I excited? Am I happy where I'm at in life? The constant pursuit of, happiness only leaves you feeling wanting more. You only want more. So each increment of things you develop for yourself that, well, once I get this, I'll be happy. Once I get my dream job wrestling, I'll be happy. No. Once I get my dream job in a televised wrestling company, I'm on TV, I'll be happy. No. Once I get on my dream job televised wrestling company and I become the world heavyweight champion, I'll be happy. No. Once I go back to the biggest company in the world to reclaim who I am and show them they were wrong, I will be happy. No. Once that gets taken away from you, go to another company within the pandemic and you run through it like a hot knife through butter, you'll be happy. No, if you try to find happiness in these things, you're only going to be left wanting more. So my happiness comes with purpose, and my purpose comes with fulfillment. And that's fulfilling the fact that this industry it's dying. It's hard to say, but it's just the same conformist groupthink, toxic bubble. Everyone does the same thing. Everyone acts the same. Everyone looks the same. Everyone chooses the same critiques from the internet, their own peers. Everybody thinks the same, and it's me personally me, stepping outside of the box, awakening one individual at a time. It's met with resentment, it's met with hatred, it's met with defense. But each and every time, if I get through to one person per attempt, I'm winning. So my happiness comes in that fulfillment.
And EC3, after you left the WWE, did you want to step away from the whole wrestling circle for a while? Did you want to go down to pastures new? I know you're an avid wrestling sort of fan as well. So was it always your goal to stay within the wrestling industry, just to come up with a different sort of direction? Or are there times that you said, right, I just want to leave this industry completely?
I created an entire new company after being fired from wrestling, and it started with an idea. It started with one camera and a gray wall. Did I want to get away from wrestling? No. Did I want to strike back at it and tell it what it should be, what it possibly could be? Yes, that's why I'm doing this. It's why I started Control Your Narrative, to create something new, something somebody can go to and become who they're supposed to be. So I didn't want to step away and go, I'm going to go act now, which is every fire person says, I'm going to go be an actor. They're not. Oh, shut up. You're going to file back into wrestling. Am I going to go do the independent scene? Dude, there was a pandemic. There was no wrestling. They fired us during a pandemic. We have no jobs and no ways to make a living during a pandemic. So not really an option. The only option I could do was create something, and it started with myself. Recreate myself, show the world who I am, show the world who you can be if you're brave enough to show your true face. Did that. Guess what? People followed. Guess what? Then we're filming features. Guess what? Then we have a television promotion. Guess what? Then we have a live tour. Guess what? Then you build this idea so big and so bold, you start taking over three-letter brands. What happened on the last Real Ring of Honor show? I came in there and I kicked everybody's ass. Nobody could stop us. What's going to happen on NWA? I'm going to come in. I'm not taking over. This isn't an invasion. I'm going to awaken NWA and this industry as just another platform, another step in the game, another means to an end. So did I want to step away? No, I'm not a coward.
And EC3, in terms of NWA, in terms of that sort of pay-per-view, do you feel that maybe you've had time maybe to hone your craft in terms of coming up with different styles and different techniques that maybe fans aren't going to see haven't seen from EC3 in a while, or new sort of things that we're going to see or showcase?
These fans think moves matter, and they're obsessed with moves, and they're new moves. What works on a fundamental level? Punching people in the head, kicking them in the face, choking them out, making them submit, breaking them down, establishing dominance. Will I do it in new and unique ways? What? Hit people as hard as I freaking can? Beat their asses into submission? Yeah, those are my new moves. I got my new 5 moves. Punch you in the face, kick you in the gut, kick you in the face, drop you on your head, make it tap out. Yes, I have a whole bunch of new moves and a new style. It's called Lucha Peruso Hybrid Power Wrestling.
Okay. And EC3, in terms of control your own narrative as well, an awful lot of renowned wrestlers have joined your movement, the likes of Adam Scherr as well. Are you hoping to maybe get some female representation as well to join the movement?
I don't know why anyone would think different. Like, Control Your Narrative is tell your story. There's no gender bias. There's no reason there aren't females involved about who knocks on the door. And who is one of the best female wrestlers in the world knocked on her door? Sarah Rowe. She came in, she kicked ass, she controlled her narrative for a couple of our shows. Then she winds up, being a Viking with her husband. Dream come true. We're very happy for her. Are there going to be more female representation? The representation will be based on the story worth telling, and it does not matter who you are or what you think you are. If you are worth investing in, if your story is worth telling to the world and you want to tell it, you personally want to tell it, all you have to do is knock. And we have plenty of females knocking on the door. And when we do this live tour, I'm going to launch at least 5 into Superstar.
Okay. And EC3, going back as a young boy, obviously the dreams of being a wrestler, obviously you probably watched the likes of Hulk Hogan growing up, the Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, these sort of characters, and the dream obviously was to go into that industry. Do you feel that when you've witnessed the reality, that maybe the dream has disappointed you in some areas?
Look, in any and all industries and all lives, misguided childhood ambition will make you have an idea of who or what something is, who somebody is. But the fact is, your heroes will fail you. Your lovers will betray you. Your friends will walk out on you. The only person you can ever trust and you can ever believe in is yourself. So, did the dream live up to the dream? The dream's a nightmare, man. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, how much money you make, what part of the card you're on, ask anybody. The dream is a nightmare. It's how you react with your moments and your emotions to that nightmare that make it worth it for you.
And for your own personal time in the wrestling industry, was the time you debuted in TNA Impact Wrestling and those first few months, was that probably the most joyful sort of time, the quick rise and ascendance that time in TNA Impact right to the top?
I mean, like I'm not afraid to talk about my past, my demons, and who I used to be. And let's be honest, young, handsome, successful, right off the bat, walking into my aunt's company, winning every match, riding cloud nine. I'm not going to lie to you, I had a good time with that. I had a little too much fun with that. But when it came down to it, when I truly was challenged and I was truly put in the positions to suffer and make things happen for myself, when my aunt left, when my best friends turned on me, when I was standing alone, I alone was the one who defeated Kurt Angle for a world heavyweight title. Because I went through all of that, the suffering, the pain, the agony, the sacrifice. So yeah, my first few months were a party. They were, ooh, yeah, if you know what I mean. But when it came down to it, who I wanted to be was the top guy, and that's who I became. And it's only because of myself. And
EC3, this tour you're going on with the Control your own narrative, do you want to take it international? Do you want to go visit the UK, Ireland?
Absolutely, 100%. I would love to do that. I want to take it all over the entire planet Earth. I want to take it down to Antarctica, the places we're not allowed to go past. But yeah, UK, Ireland would be a great stop on the tour because they're just a passionate fan base. And what I love about the UK and the Irish fans is they invest in the emotion. They see through some of the trivial stuff. They're able to dissect deeper thought and deeper meaning within wrestling. They treat it more like an art than maybe the common American dumbass on Twitter. So I think it would be a great place to take him. It's just a matter of time. We're just starting, buddy.
And EC3, in your own past career, have you ever wrestled in Ireland?
Yeah. Yeah, who was... I remember just getting a statue picture in Dublin. I don't remember who it was, but I had a few too many Guinnesses that night. So yes, we definitely wrestled in Ireland a couple times.
Yeah. And
I think I wrestled James Storm, and actually I think I beat James Storm in Ireland once. Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Okay, yes. Of course I did. Okay. He sucks. I'm awesome.
And obviously it left a fond memories for you, that sort of trip, and obviously it's something you would like to do again in the near future.
You're inviting me out for a pint. I assure you I don't drink anymore, but I will join you out there and regale you with conversation and wit that you've never imagined. And I'll probably be on the lookout for a wife. So Irish girls are very nice.
And EC3, in terms of going forward, in terms of what are your goals now for the next year or the next sort of next few years? Do you want to continue this relationship with NWA and obviously do your own movement, control your own narrative? Where do you see it maybe in the pipeline in 5 years' time?
Yeah, and Sun Tzu, Art of War, you don't really reveal your true plans and your true destiny. But I would not be remiss to have a working relationship with the NWA. I control your narrative. I don't know if it will ever have a title. I don't know if it needs it. But at the same time, I am a two-time world heavyweight champion. Adding a third to that kind of seems like a fitting end to a wonderful legacy. 10 pounds of gold would look very nice around my waist. Plus, since we talked about nostalgia so much earlier, I've even envisioned the moment where I'm holding the NWA championship. And, it's blood, sweat, it's tears, it's dirt, it's grime, it's man in the arena, shit. And I just went through the fight of my life. I was victorious, and I had that title, and I hold it up high. And then I throw it into a burning barrel fire because nostalgia is dead. Let's stop living in the past. And out of that fire, I'll pull out something new, something unique, something that truly defines who a leader in this industry is. And myself, as an NWA world champion, is a leader this industry can get behind.
And finally, for me to you, EC3, obviously, your debut on NWA, August the 27th on the FITE TV network. Do go out, do stream it, do buy the stream for that. And fighting Mims,
support wrestling.
Fighting Mims on that. What are Irish fans going to see from EC3, and what's EC3's message to all the Irish fans that tune in?
Well, they definitely have a stacked card. So, I mean, short of like world-class wrestling, short of like great talent trying to prove themselves to the diehard, bloodthirsty, rabid, unforgiving fan base of professional wrestling, you know, the tweeters, the Redditors, the commenters, the likers, the dislikers, the people that love this so much that they hate it more than anybody. If they try, they want to impress them. If they think differently, they think outside the box, and they try to impress themselves with what they can do when they push themselves to the limit, every one of those wrestlers will succeed. So this card stacked. As far as myself, Mims, I guarantee you this, Mims is going to walk out of that match with me at NWA 74 10 times better than he was when he walked in. He's going to walk out with a new perspective, a new psychology, a new concept of who he could be, and a bunch of new wounds because I beat his ass. But that is what I do. That is my purpose to fulfill within wrestling now, is to bring people up to the next level. I'm not just the king. I could be a king maker.
On that note, EC3, we wish you all the best for your NWA debut on August the 27th against Mims. Hopefully it's a joyous occasion for you and your family, and hopefully your movement goes from strength to strength. What we do. You've been warned. Cheers. Take care.